everyone. We are back once again with the great Ace Attorney. Hope everyone's having a good day today. I am all set, or I'm almost all set. Just gotta get to the right thing, get everything set up, make sure my hair is washed, breath smells good. Am I good? Alright, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. It's fine. I'm just waiting for people to come in anyway. Hey, Batman. Batman, cool man is here. How you doing today? You're just in time for the great Ace Attorney. And, if you like courtroom cases, then you're gonna love this stream. So, give me a second. Just checking things. Okay, good, and you? I'm doing good. I hope you're ready, because this is going to be fun. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zeeks. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. Do you like court proceedings at all, Batman Cool Man? Because if you do, you're going to love this game. It's one of my favorite series out there. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windebank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Hey, Zorks man. How you doing, Captain Chips? Welcome to the craziness that is this game. Someone, like the accused, you might say. Oh! The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Yay! We got some stuff. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. Let's see the autopsy report first. So, details, Pop Windebank, pawnbroker, 16th of April, 1 to 1:30 a.m., important party, myself. Single bullet wound in upper half of the victim's back, no other visible signs. Instant death from a poster, something bullet wound to the heart. Bullet entered the body from the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. And you're first in every single way. Update on 9 days. It's still amazing. I have it on my wish list. I saw it and I was like, ooh. I know I'm playing another Castlevania game soon, but I'm excited. Very specifically a combo of Metroid Fusion and Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. You're certain of that now? That's awesome. And I did like those games. Metroid Fusion a little less, but I still liked it. I haven't finished it yet, though. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windebank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene... Hey, Eliza! It's your birthday today? Oh, it's your birthday! Want me to sing happy birthday to you? 20 years old, welcome to the 20s. No longer a teenager. She had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Getting old for real. Do you want me to sing you happy birthday or no? I'm gonna get a drink real quick. It's gonna be a long... Sure. Alrighty. Hey there, it's your birthday. Get happy. Happy when you're born, happy when you're young, happy when you're old and gray. Congratulations, here's to you. Happy birthday from all of us to Eliza Sophie. What a great time to sing you happy birthday while we're staring at this poor kid in a gun, with a gun in her hand. Awesome. But yeah, happy birthday to ya. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drebs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood in her hands then. That might be her last day though. We're trying to help her actually. We're trying to make it not her last day. That's the tough part. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Please throw the bottle in the candles back there. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. Just wanted to pop in. Well, thank you for popping in. I appreciate you being here and saying it's your birthday. I'm glad that I could give you a big birthday wish or whatever. You have to go? Well, have a good one. See you tomorrow, or soon, or someday. Be well and be awesome. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Time zones 3 a.m. Oh no, not 3 a.m. Oh fudge. Stay hydrated, get some sleep. Don't stay awake for too much longer. See ya! Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick purse or cold-hearted killer. Your new job? Ooh! Welcome to adult life, your new job. Enjoy it. Here's to establishing the truth. And you woke up because you thought you overslept? Oh no. I've had nights like that. That sucks. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. Crime scene. Gun. Holding the gun. Signs of a single discharge. Okay? Single discharge. Gotta sleep. Good night to ya. Good luck with the job. And all that stuff. Take care, Ulti. Bye, Eliza. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo. Thanks for the song. You're welcome. Most welcome. I think that's because it has. Oh boy. Cape's off already. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windabank on 16th April of this year. Oh boy. Look at these chumps. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Name's Nash Skulkin. Operation is, baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupations, same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call the three Skulkin brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot. Core blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older bruv. Lost contact with him, we have, so we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. Hey look, a short person who might have had a gun. No, that's crazy talk. What are you talking about, Captain Chips? That's insane. No way. And then last night we come across you, the very spite of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided there and then we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya Big Bruv Skulky. come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin? And that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson? Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they? These three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these 2 brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence! Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Very small. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector, skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, and what exactly you saw. Happy to. 'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'. Get out of it. More strange people, guys. Ain't that fun? We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours and the gaff store was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we get inside, cor blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. If you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. We'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Alright, here we go. A stars, objection. How you doing today? Welcome to the final case. I hope you're doing well. Hold it! The front door of Windibank was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? I am doing great, thanks. We're playing more of this game, so I'm very happy right now. It's good to see you here. Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at once in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky? Leave me alone. There's definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused Miss Gina Lestrade, already had a muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection.
That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder. simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was.
Hold it!
What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash, it weren't. Whoa! Hey, Cope! Thank you for the raid. Welcome on in. Welcome to the cross-examination of these two knuckleheads here. But what's up? Good to see ya. Like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. Led us to the bloke what looks like it was our bruv. Thank you, Chirok? I think that's how you say that. Make Ultima say something. Skibbity. Mods ban Copeland, thanks. How you doing today, Cope? It's good to see ya. Thank you for raiding. I hope your winnings were wins. Be awesome. I said cut it out. Yeah, what Gregson said there. Those chips are getting a chomping today. We're in the middle of a massive murder case at the moment. One of the biggest ones ever, actually. But yeah, happy ratings to you. Thank you for rating. You know, every time you say, oh, I know it sounds like oh, but it always sounds like oh to me. Like everyone's normal reaction when they see my streams. Oh, okay. But, good to see you here. Once we got inside, core blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
Hold it!
A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, governor. I couldn't swear to that. It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Winterbank always used to leave his gun lying around on the corner. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Winterbank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful. You went to see what was what? The door was locked from the inside.
Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see. Bye. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. What, the curtain? No, not the curtain, lad. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination, my learned Nipponese friend. It would seem is of the former. All right, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So, I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet.
Hold it!
You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? Well, it was Bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left, nice and quietly, you say. That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. So, you're clearly like us to believe. Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say? Ah! Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway. It was. Why in the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair weren't arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery. Were arrested. Within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene, their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Okay, a single round was fired. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to your successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder, but the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there.
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in their pawnbroker shop that night? Present. Beep, boop, bap.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What? What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do, how arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence this court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Dilly-dally, shilly-shally. Let's see. It's the first one, the one with the bullet, I swear. Wait, which one's the first one? Is it this one here? Oh, the one with the bullet. The guide says this one. If it's wrong, I'm suing the guide.
Take that!
What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windibanks Pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Give me a second, guys. Okay. Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is a credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Nah! Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks? Gulp. If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? There we go. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Yeah? Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew that their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Ag! In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all. So, that's it. That's it. We did it. We didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Nash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include an unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? Ah, we're in for it now, bruv. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric? Says who? Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite a desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated theft conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the world would be criminal, lingers my lord. On the night in question, the witness currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of friar talk, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulkin'. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1. Right, bruv? Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Oh, good lord! It's the defendant, Mr. Gina Lestrade. Uh-oh. As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite, one can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel. I don't believe it. Ginny. In short, the accused is the only person who could have possibly have killed Mr. Windibank. Ag! I see, my lord. You all know what's gonna happen here. Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carrying on the battlefield after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you'd like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all, and all for one. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes, that is the Garadeb Squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Set his report to the court, men, on the double. His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am wary sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Well. Yep. Alrighty. It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well, the court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman and are all members of the jury ready? Abso-bally-lutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of this jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. And here we go again. Alright. All the evidence clearly points to the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketing. As housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at that photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I had left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdicts to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. Convinced? Is this the guy that announces biggest dickus? The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accused's hand the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Alright, take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. And here we go.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-purses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those backslums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rats magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. I actually want to see what this person over here says. In Motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced the brothers are innocent.
Hold it!
Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary? Da, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, or autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all. Well, forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time, it is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers. Da, maybe they went inside pawnbroker shop, but they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clean up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Runo? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for who looks for all the world like a revolutionary. I wish I knew. So Captain Chips, would that guy even be allowed in this court if he's a revolutionary person? Oh well, I guess in this court he would be allowed, huh? Anyway, let's, I'd expect not. You suspect not. Again, I guess he just looks like the revolutionary person. You and you.
Objection!
Those two statements contradict each other, clearly. Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself! Oh my statement? Contradictory? Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear? Abdomen. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word. Abdomen, part of a person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English, I am Russian, not a native speaker. Who's thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who looked like criminals were lying. They say before we never done nothing, but truth is, they shot detective. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough! I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be Yes, it is, Runo. Easily. Sorry. With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor! Tut tut, calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. This was taken after Hurley was shot, then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understand situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. Alright. We got that guy on our side now. Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in than what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. If I can do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Another print in the court record. Wonder if we can make use of that. Oh, right. Okay, we are now pressing this person.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. I don't think that's true. You are well informed, young lady. Heh. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop! And just when I was starting to catch up, radio transmission is the future. Stop! Messages carried over airways to four corners of globe. Stop! Excitement growing. Stop! Atmospheric electric. Stop! Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop! Driving technological revolution. Stop! And people say inventions like the stereoscope are height of technology. What utter piffle. I can understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Oh. Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on. I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely. I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find the viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, that could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Runo? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? That would say absolutely. How about this print here? I should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can't do it with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera and window banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how the stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were in depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. So, what happens if you use the 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see. Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera, Runo. Go on. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now you're looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pen from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait. Really obvious difference? It might be different, for flip's sake, this page. It might be obvious for people who can do it. But for those of us who can't, like me, yeah. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, sure. Alright, sorry guys, give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, yeah. What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of these things on the counter sort of jump out at you. I see. Wow. What? Yes, that's it. You see. You have Cat sleeping next to you. You move her pillow over so she can sleep right there. Ooh, nice. Is she watching the stream too? And hey, Hedgewolf. Good to see you here too. What's up? You're just in time for the final court case of the first game. But how you doing? I am doing great. Chilling out, playing Ace Attorneys, and having a good time. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some things of this... the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at 2 identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's good. Heck yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully your day was good today too. A long, lovely day. It's the slight shift in the positions of a certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the 2 pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the 2 prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Runo, it's quite simple. Is it? Just think of it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that someone, sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. You saw the shift? Oh, you did? I didn't. I can't cross my eyes. Zookers! Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who was responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. The answer is... Iris! She's the murderer. It's, this guy.
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's the guy from the beginning of the game. Well, the guy from the second game, or from the second case. The revolutionary person. Yeah, he's just a juror person. Like Schwadevs, right? It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further in there for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not be the least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. Headbutt. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. Wholeheartedly agreed. Stop. Let's purchase after trial. Stop. We'll return home via Regent Street. Stop. Yay! Well, it would seem this trial is yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion, with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. I order this trial to continue. Yay! Well done! Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But, alright. So who do you all think is the murderer this time around? Who could it be among all the peopleses? Lord Van Zeeks. You will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at last, and I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. The end. Okay, not really. To be continued. Save. Save, guys? Yeah, save. Alright. Cool. As usual, there's less cases. These less cases are intense. Oh, yeah. When are they ever not intense? Never. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. These two are in trouble. Presume you've heard the defendant's counsel summation. Examination. Oh, yeah, governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Core, blimey. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks. Well, it was bedlam soon as we weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers... Core, blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing to the sort. How'd you figure that out? Nice. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov, we hear ya. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach. Would it hurt to crush a cup in your hands? Like a glass cup? A chalice? I think it would. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, and it didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back when we found it and scampered straight into him in the back. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation? You did indeed ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you said it, we hardly sounds like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't he make us sound like a bit more cute cutthroat? It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at the Windibanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. But what is the more to that meets the eye? No. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all the stuff went flying.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is that the sound of the gun shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter. Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah? This bag of nerves used to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang. Big bruv here screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. Is he the older brother down there? Is the smaller one the older brother? Is this Mario and Luigi, guys? But British? That got tangled in some marionette way, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor. You've really mastered working quietly then. What a racket. Me, Granny would have had been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. Oh god, it's Mario and Luigi. Hey, Mario and Luigi! Ringo and whatever the other guy's name is. Hang on a minute. Okay. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quite a scene as a mouse all of a sudden. Bam!
Excuse me!
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. Fun fact, Ringo is Japanese for apple, and he's got an apple in one hand. How about the other person? Is Nash Japanese for pear? Or something for pear? No, something to add about their testimony? Nash is not. Oh man. You seemed to react just now to what Mr. Skulkin said. Did that make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. Japanese for pear is nashi. It's not, yeah. Nashi. Well, there we have it. Apple and pear. And they're eating an apple and pear. I love it. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they were saying now. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Doesn't ring a bell now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? The Japanese for pear is... Oh, I read that. Whoops. If I discover the witnesses' testimonies have been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time. That's it. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!" Alright. The bloke who owned the place was holding the gun. We should have fired instead of yelling at the girl. I think we gotta save it. Yeah, I'm gonna save it here. Alright. Present the... I'm seeing photograph.
Objection!
Good. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. He has, she has, no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that mole tooler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam! Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness! Are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates the inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? That would be the... Where is it? In the Auto Psi report.
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Gimme that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events being happening almost simultaneously, so we've been led to believe. Lol. Yes, that's right. Now, if the testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So as I stated before, There is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yaga! But, it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash, it is. Where the wolves shot that night. The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun? Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, yeah. Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, they weren't supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness, and it would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we, Cut it out, Nash, cut it out. We blab now, you know what you'll do to us. He? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well... Do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Oh boy. Alright, give me a second. Okay. Alright, so we just got inside the graph and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled me gun on him, and he legged it through that door into the back room. We had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, this time, you ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Tell the truth, or Zeeks is gonna shoot him dead, I guess. Or burn him alive in a big carriage. Either one of the two things. Alright, give me a second, guys. Okay. Alright, so we have...
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windibank? Who else? Sorry. I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room for that. The back room and being the pawnbrokery's storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Jenny must have been in there at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank and into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone with them when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time? Whoops. Okay. Well, that mole-tooler, couldn't tell ya. No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me the gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? The truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim, Mr. Windibank, wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy, a great ugly barrel he had, pointing through straight at me front to piece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with the gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is, spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us, he did. He was bad lamb. I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean, for an old geezer, the bloke was strong in the knocks, so he took me over the counter.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, knocked over a picture frame, knocked over them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock these things over off the counter. Well, Big Bruv here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell ya. That old geezer pinned him. Then the old geezer pinned him. You did, Nash, you did. If you ain't been through there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windibank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. I pulled me gun on him and then he legged it and unthrew that door into the back room.
Hold it!
Were you intended to shoot Mr. Windibank? Nah, never. I was just, looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? Ease was beaten flat and don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then he ran off through that door and shut himself in. There's something odd about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Windibank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windibank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windibank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and Bruv here. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me Bruv here. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, did he? Locked he was, from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused Miss Gina Lestrade. Ag! It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, Counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Windibank? I will say there could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you'd encounter the victim face to face that night. The course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windibank, and it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts, so pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums. 2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Runo? I'm not entirely sure. But there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. I'm gonna say right here. Right there. Do you see? Do you see it?
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Behind him, actually. Ain't that crazy? No, he's right, like, here.
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Give me a second. Okay. The culprit will shot the victim from the thing or whatever. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stained blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly the shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled me gun on him and then he left it from through that door into the back room. If Mr. Windibank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was in the storeroom. Naga! Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Ah, of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windibank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim that his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Ag! But... What if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel, present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shot and locked the storeroom door from the inside? That would be... unfortunately... you.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Give me a second here. Okay.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? Yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please. But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Bang. Hit in the back of the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor, where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, bruv, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There is only one logical conclusion here. Me and Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder. Nah, yeah. Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest. That was amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they have agreed. Just they'll have to give a verdict or not. Heh. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks? I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation, but such blatant malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets? Oh dear. You noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir? tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life, and the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed, the defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know that there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brothers' gun hit Mr. Sholmes, that means Windibank not shot by the same gun. Stop, only 1 bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, the Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a divisionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Ugh. Wag! Welp! Order, order, order! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks! But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. The disc! I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilden's down to the yard, thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc, McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windibank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character. Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes. All of 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo. And you're falling asleep so bad. Aw, good night, stars. Have a good one. Have a good sleep. I'll see you hopefully soon. Good night to you. My lord! Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden... Night. Hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully. I'll see ya. The answer's bally obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, crap. Crap. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Arg, how dare you use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garadev Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Here we go again, lads and lasses. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Should that not concern people, guys? It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit, I was rather bowled over by that argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd be jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair, Iris. That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Jenny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Well, here we go again, folks. The game is telling me to do this, by the way. Where is it? Examine. It's a sensational story lower down on the front page as well. Look! Ministry Mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Minister of Justice. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they are being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Greg Z running from pillar to post at the moment.
Ooh. Well, well, well.
Alright. Okay. So we need to, press them all.
Hold it!
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Ah, well... Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through, can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this? This? Exactly. Could have swiped that only a day earlier, or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. Never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what the tune it plays though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. A gilded disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Maybe I'll investigate the disc real quick, just for funsies. Oh, Runo, look! This is blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. And it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that disc, Runo. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash! Green. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? And then Mr. McGilded. Well, good thing. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like to find china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose... if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? For now. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well... I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
No, that's crazy.
Alright. Boom. So if I've understood correctly, you need two pictures, the left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Her lord seems to have entertained some unique folks. Some unique fellers. I wonder who. Wonder if we'll ever see this person. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
Hold it!
Will you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was that fellow's name now? Herlick? No. Herlock. No. Herlock. Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Yes, good lord. It was that Herlock fellow. What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They say he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over the insides with a fine-tooth comb, and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall, where the calendar was hanging by the door. Magic bullets, huh? Magic bullets that just, poof, vanish. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally. Huh? Who do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser, even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can someone please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
I love it.
Alright. The mystery of where the bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? An expert? Someone just mentioned that he is an expert, guys. Pitt. Him. With the Russian revolutionary.
Objection!
Eminem. Hi, good night. Hello and good night. How you doing today? Is it the ice bullet problem? Oh, the ice bullet purchase, rather. Could be. Are those real things? Could that be a real thing, guys? I don't know how that would work, actually. Or perchance. Got it. Oh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. Villain. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. I don't know, but a conspiracy it is, and wouldn't put it past the series. That would be interesting. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen a very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Golly! The snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow, and the situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor, that cannot find bullets in my body, and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then, where did the bullet go? Bullets never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullets hit a frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me, and that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. Well, I think we're about to learn more about this right now, Hedgewolf. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop, not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Who knows? Where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach, sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. You're listening, Minim? Awesome. Listen away. Listen good. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Van Zeeks. While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Thank goodness. I thought it was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While the extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Sherlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So, that night, a bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch, and it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The Bungling and Bungling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of this case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence. Are these pouches in scruffy? Alright. Yes. Now the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. Still a way to turn this around. Somehow, I'm sure of it. Court record, please. Let's examine this, bad boy. What do we have here? This file has been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion. Big explosion? Well, Harley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for investigation works he does. But they're also tricky to handle. Safely, at least, they're very dangerous. Oh. I'm sure that's when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in the future. The left is the danger zone. Highway to the... This file... Oh, whoops. Oh, it's shot like that. It's shot like that. Oh, look! There's a hole here at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Alright. I would love to find... here? It's really scorched badly just there. Oh, the strap is broken, look! That must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. Oh, what do we have here, guys? Miss Sholmes is a danger to himself and to others. He's a danger to everyone. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Ah, that's the Skulkin Brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were three bullets fired at Windibanks that night. Found exactly what that juror was talking about. The third bullet. And to press that juror again, I think. Yay! Alright. So it was juror number 2, right?
Hold it!
Press. And we saw this already. We saw this dialogue. It's possible! Allow me to show you then the third bullet. There it is!
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital, and since then, it had been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, if it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. You already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in the photographic print. Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Windibank, and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene, and until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Arg! Arg! Order! While this summation examination remains incomplete, this court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As in my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Okay, guys. Now, we done do the doing it.
Witnesses? Governor, were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out that summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I didn't make nothing if I can't help it. Is it one of yours? Gor blimey, Gov, gor blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never! The Skulkin brothers work alone. Just the two of us, that's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what the 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers.
Oh, you piece of crap, you
Silly page that keeps crashing on me. Alright. Yes, save complete. The answer is... Boop. On that night at Windibank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a 3rd man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice, but the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present, someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
An accomplice, you say? Pigs will. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has not been a murmur of a 3rd man. This apparent wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. Ag! The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel? I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is... ready. So I'll pose this question now while I'm talking and doing things. Who is the third accomplice? Who do you think it is, guys? The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers to the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. I'm pretty sure that we have seen everyone from this case, by the way. So, I pose the question, who do you think it is? Who's the big bad murderer person? Something to say. This promises to be interesting. Zates is so going to injure himself someday with the way he breaks all those glasses. I know, right? But hey, he's fine. He can do it. Hedgewolf thinks it's Sholmes. Well, Hedgewolf, you might be very disappointed with the answer. What do you think, Captain Chips? I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, Counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? That would be the blood.
Take that!
The evidence is right here in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. Saying it's Sholmes is a joke? I know. I know you're messing. Who do you think it actually is, though? Who is the real one? You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
That would be...
Sample with the calendar. You're well past the point where you're keeping up here. Damn. Can't even, take a guess, then?
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or some such around the bullet hole in the middle of this calendar. For all we know, it's Hurley's sister. Hurley's sister. There's a bloodstain, my lord. Or there's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Green blood? Curious, even for you. Is this court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I don't think Hurley has a sister. Haven't paying attention, so I'm not sure just listening in the background. Maybe it's the foreman guy. Which one's that again? The foreman? Who's that? By the great detective. New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell it in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. One who's standing with the thief brothers? Oh, the detective person? As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, could it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
You get people mixed up, it's fine. You're fine. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Who is it, guys? Who do you think it is? You are not gonna believe this, but the person it is none other than Iris. Just kidding. It's actually Egbert Benedict. The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about? Counsel? He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. That would be freaking uncanny, frankly. It's your breakfast. It's Mr. Breakfast. Uncanny if it was Iris. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker. Yes, sir? I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes. The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs too. Inspector Gregson was there at the time, and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder, Grubbenson's. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Never seen the geezer before in me life. Not on me life, Gov, on me life. Never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
Oh, give me a second.
Okay, I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Then, show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. That's the real reason Sophie fled the country so sad. Sophie? Which one was Sophie again? This is the last piece of evidence. I've had the feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Do you mean Susato, Hedgewolf? The other person? Yes, my lord, the defense will present the evidence now. Prove that the man pictured in this photograph print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. It's this.
Take that!
Yeah, the assistant girl. No, she's going back because her father's sick. Her father's not doing so well. That's the reason why. Alright. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibank's. Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? It was the joke? Oh, gotcha. Sorry. A little out of it, you know what I mean? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Very well. Of course it was the JoJo posing villain person. And I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. Arg! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. I couldn't remember her real name. Oh, I read that. That is still wonderful. I do love his hat, very much so. Being a music box disc, it has countless sharp but deadly metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty Fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime and that same night. So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Oi, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is of the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. People in these games are nice and all, but the hats are true masterpieces. It's funny though, the two people with amazing hats turn out to be the bad guys. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called in evidence. So that bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would ever turn the same color. Ah, well... And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it.
You mean as a signifier? As a signifier?
Oh, what are you doing? I can't get away with that!
That sentence didn't make any sense. Please ignore it.
Okay, no problem.
Sadly, I guess only villains know true beauty.
Only the villains know beautiful hats. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body, but what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief! What did you just say, young girl? In a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Harley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd precis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of this jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to a fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Worth remembering that Watson in Sherlock Holmes was also a military sniper.
Oh, really? That's actually awesome.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
Yay!
2 calls for guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection!
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I thought he was a military doctor?
Yes, he was both. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue. Arg! Arg! Stupid doctor and news person. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it.
Obviously. Back then, high-level officers regularly wore multiple hats, as it were. Didn't remember that? Maybe you should listen to them again?
You should. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night.
Could I say something?
Who said that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord.
Juror number 5? What have you to say, madam?
If possible. Inspector?
Me, ma'am?
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown.
Ah, right. Yes, this one, you mean? Of Mr. Benedict?
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What? No. Good gracious! Juror number 5? Order, order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer. Stop.
As we can clearly see.
The gentleman in this photograph is... Stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop.
This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
Suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zeeks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste, as your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord. I'd like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Whew. My gosh. To be continued.
You like the judge's wig? I quite like the judge's wig as well. No, it's real hair. It's definitely real hair, guys.
Alright, moving on. Part 3.
Ah, Gina, how are you holding up?
Bugger off. I'm starting to feel quite warmly toward her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything?
What's the point, eh?
Why go through all this trouble and fight so hard? For the likes of me.
What?
Well, you saw it. That picture.
What picture?
Ah, you mean this? This photograph, the photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Well, I didn't think it would have.
I didn't think it would have captured the scene like this. That's for sure.
It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that is gonna. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court.
Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now.
You can't still think I'm innocent.
Of course I can.
Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of the new information, but still.
This is the case that never ends, for it goes on and on, my friends. Oh, it does. It's almost 10-hour long case, according to a YouTube video.
We'd really like to hear it from you.
Alright then.
It was after we'd had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had to chat up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, I remember.
After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went out down the street to the 2-1, to Windibank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. The hound of the Baskervilles. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like, something what he don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking in with the lug with Windibank for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time.
So you broke into Windibank's?
I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea all of that was gonna kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you could like in there. So I gave the oil lamp at the counter a bit of whack, and that was when...
What do you think you're doing?
Ah! I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like I don't know what.
Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets were in for armed robbery.
The mantle script. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story?
I beg your pardon?
The hound of the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see if it's here, that's all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if the Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there, all right, the mental script. Sholmes weren't lying after all. He did all that. She did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop.
The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes.
What was that noise? Somebody's breaking in.
Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I've come with you and...
Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back and out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. Sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see. So I was just about to go out to the storeroom myself when...
Bang, bang.
I heard a couple of shots go off, two I think, almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windibank might come for you.
Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Windibank was a goner.
Poor guy.
I felt funny in me head all of a sudden, kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't done what I'd done, then the old cove might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. It'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit through the mill.
That cove what was there in the afternoon?
That Egbert Benedict?
I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing.
He was there that night.
We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
It's impressive he lived as long as he did with his habit of pointing guns at his own head.
I know, right? And it was in fact a different gun from someone else that did him in. So, well done, old guy, for lasting this long.
You what? You can leave it all in Runo's capable hands now, Ginny. Mr. Naraoto?
Yes?
How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bug trotter off with him, even though he was a killer.
No, I could never forget that.
Oh!
I did what I thought was the best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Truly a skilled man. Skilled, in some ways, Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know.
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Runo.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest.
I was so happy I cried, but even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely.
But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize he made you defend yourself. Something like that, yeah. Then we were accused of murder again. If you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diver and a no good liar?
You're not like McGilded. I know that.
Eh? That's right, you're our friend, Ginny. Iris, we know you better than you think.
And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes,
That's really all we need to know.
exactly. Mr. Naruodo, I... Sniffle, sniffle.
Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately.
Yes, of course, thank you. What a great friend makes you defend yourself, then gets himself killed with you as the prime suspect.
What a good friend. He really is, though. I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner.
Friendship goals.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's process of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
My lord, the subpoena was a witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Egbert Benedict. I did not expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this. There he is. Dio. Or, he's kind of more Yoshikage Kira-ish, but he has poses. Right? I don't know. Compare him to whatever JoJo character you want him to be. Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer.
Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about?
You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume?
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation, indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know.
Very well, without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord, gladly.
Right.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder?
He is very Yoshikage Kira, yeah. Extremely. Except he has a hat. He is hatted Yoshikage Kira. Even more powerful.
I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation, even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some sacramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence.
So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by the self-professed detective's toy.
It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will be upheld. If this case is the reason why the jury system was disallowed, it would make sense.
Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today.
By golly!
How long am I to expect to be detained here?
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you'll be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least.
Let's not hold up Mr. Greedon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Egbrook Benedict.
Or is it Mr. Graydon?
My apologies, you are? Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met.
If you say so, Ashley Graydon, Enchante. So... I trust we can conclude that this quickly.
But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do. Now is Yoshikage Kira.
Naturally, I have occasion...
Give me a second.
To pawnbroking. Though you seriously doing the thing? I have no intention of doing a thing. If certain parties are here present claim that my blood was found at the scene, or even if certain parties have present a claim that my...
Okay.
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes's chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes's chemical is about to... Spare me the science lesson. Who is this Sholmes character, anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective.
So even you are unable to bring yourself to say, great detective.
A great detective, you say? Tisk, now we're in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Excuse me!
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
What? Me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
Right, I've had enough to hear with this. How many times do I gotta tell you?
Yes, I know, you're not big bruv sulky.
Mr. Nash Skulkin. Cor blimey, Governor. You what?
It is not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind?
Oh, I read that as the wrong person.
Would you care to share your thoughts with the court?
Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him. You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing, honest gov, nothing. I was just thinking.
If he weaves his arm around like that any much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all.
What wound?
When he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gotta be healed up yet. That's why I was, I was worrying for him, and...
Oh, Elsbells.
Mr. Graydon, did you hear that?
What?
Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm.
My lord, Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about.
Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. Ho 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 ho.
I love it.
We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you'd allow the court official to examine your arm, sir. The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand as if in pain. No, I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. It's a guessing game when you call out the name.
Yeah, with these lads, yep.
Accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy.
That's not a good look for you if you're saying those things in the first place.
As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery, where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery?
My lord, the defense would like the last statement to be added to the Mr. Graydon's formal testimony.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery establishment where the man was killed.
Hold it!
Yes. Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I am not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my studies. No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
Excuse me!
You have something to add, Inspector?
Come again, Sunshine?
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector, that afternoon?
Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall.
And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article.
Well now. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
What? But you must.
I'm not going to lie and pretend I don't remember something that I don't.
What's going on here? Rexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Windibanks?
Yes, of course.
Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. He's already forgotten the twirling dance that's amazing.
The twirly dance.
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it? What do you think, Runo? I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away. The complete opposite of Hurley, then. Seems to think that the more he says, the better. Well, at least I managed to press a little more information from the witness's lips, all thanks to the Skulkin brothers. Yes, they were the key to it after all. So he says he had nothing to do with the Windibanks. Well, we know that's not true. Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record.
Good idea.
You never know what tiny scrap of information could be a valuable weapon. Some sacramuch's detective homebrew tincture can hardly be taken as evidence.
Bottom line is...
So, statement 6. Is that this one? Or this one?
Statement 6. Give me a second, guys. Okay. The guide here is wording this very strange. This is apparently statement 6, even though it's statement 4. Anyway, there you go.
Objection!
Oh. Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we? How about no? Okay, maybe the last one is the statement then.
Objection!
Okay. Statement 5 is statement 6. Very good. Alright, give me... Okay, here we go. Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean... Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn in Mr. Windibank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Mr. Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course, wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Ah, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps. That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of the smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnant also, in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What? What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now. You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon? It would appear that there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of a pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. I'm sure. There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGilded," but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder? Yes, my lord. The one and the same. Good lord! Mr. Graydon! You saying that Mr. McGilded and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. Arg!
You are innocent. Don't try to hide stuff seriously.
Oh, well, he's trying to think, he's trying to say he's innocent the best he can. This little punk. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again.
According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying.
So he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hands on McGilded's disc for some reason.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.
Cross-examination. There's no note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. No.
Present. Or press, rather. Press. We're pressing.
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it?
That's right. That was the very man.
Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded as evidence.
What was that reaction,
Mister?
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Inspector?
What do you mean?
The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. This cross is gonna be brutal.
This cross?
Oh, the cross-examination. The last remark Mr. Graydon seemed to trouble you.
No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilded's possessions?
I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that.
Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago, a man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life, yet he had a dark side too.
Where are you going with this, Van Zeeks?
I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? Yeah, sorry, lawyers tend to shorthand cross-examination to cross.
Oh, gotcha.
None of them in this game have yet, or in any of the games.
But in real life, do they do that?
Pretty soon they're gonna say sus
For suspect. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know.
Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector.
The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first.
What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here. This just keeps going in circles. Yeah, in real life they do that.
That's insane.
While it would appear that the Inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal, Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Why hold a trial without any pertinent information? Just what it feels like.
It's just how it goes. Especially in the old courts. That's just how it done goes.
Goes. Alright. Box.
Objection!
This disc was deposited at Windibanks on Magnus McGilded's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Conjecture again, and in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police after the afternoon. Blech. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbrokery again that night.
No. Sorry, my learned friend. But that's not true. Well, guys, I am looking at the clock right now, and it's almost 3. It's a couple seconds away from 3.
So I'm going to say we are going to finish this game in 2 days. How does that sound, guys? Does that sound good? How does that sound? Does that sound peachy? Hope you all will be here for that. It's gonna be exciting and crazy. There's gonna be accusations everywhere and blood in the walls and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you had a good time. Castlevania tomorrow, once again, the last game, so look forward to that. Love you all, be good, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye!